Hi, everyone. As you can probably tell, something's a little different today. Someone is missing. And honestly, I wasn't even sure how to start this podcast without her because she always does the intro, but I'm going to give it a shot. So, welcome back to Mom, You're Embarrassing Me. I'm Michele Spar, flying solo today without my co host, my amazing daughter, Jordan Wick. And I'm going to do my very best to channel her spirit and maybe her sass. But as our regular listeners know, it's never the same without her. All right, but everyone needs to buckle up for today because our guests are the dynamic duo behind the book Pickleball Mindset. One of them will inspire you to push through your limits, and the other one will probably call you out if you don't. I'll let you guys guess who's who. Please welcome Dayne Gingrich and Jill Martin.
I want to
Hi,
know.
guys.
I want to know which one is which.
I don't.
I'm
I
going to
already
let
know.
a
I know.
listener figure it out. Jill knows already.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, can you guys give everyone, for those who don't know you as well as I do, your little elevator pitch?
Go ahead.
Oh, sure. So, I'm a former attorney turned kind of pickleball fanatic, and I'm a personal trainer. And Dane is a mental performance coach and a senior pro pickleball player. And our paths crossed when I took up pickleball, and he was looking to strengthen his body. And I was noticing that what was in between my two ears was what was holding me back from progressing the most on the court. And so, through mutually training each other, and me being kind of relentless and asking him 7,020 questions every day about mindset, often on text. When I was an attorney, I specialized in writing, and that's kind of my passion, writing. I just one night wrote like, we've pretty much written a book over text. We should write a book. And to my great surprise, he was like, okay. And so, so that's what we did. So we wrote a book called Pickleball Mindset, which is essentially a dialogue between the two of us. It's kind of exploring like our journey over a year of coaching. And in his portions of the book, he explains mental performance strategies that he's used himself as a professional player and with the people he coaches. And then I talk about my attempts to implement and integrate those approaches, and sometimes I agree with them and sometimes I don't, and anybody who's taken a clinic knows that we don't always agree. And so that's kind of part of the book too.
But
Yeah. Go
I'm
ahead.
always right. No,
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Yes, he's always right. And that this is one of my primary Dane management skills.
Yes.
We just
Yeah.
nod and agree,
Mhm.
and then we do what we want.
Yes.
Writing the book together, I mean, you guys seem to have gotten through that and you're still friends. That's impressive.
Well,
No, I'm just joking.
You're
Yes.
just really good at faking it.
No. No, we're really good friends. She knew my wife long before we actually met, and she knew my daughter. She helped in class with my daughter in math class. She was one of the parent helpers at the time. So they knew each other
Mhm.
long before I knew who Jill was. But when
Yeah.
we started working together, it wasn't easy. I mean, she could attest, like it was not easy. We both have totally different styles.
Yeah.
And we both have different communication styles and learning styles and how we go about things. And I had been trying to write a book for a very long time
Mhm.
without success. And I think in the beginning, I was actually, we were just talking about this and I didn't know it at the time, but I think I was self sabotaging and kind of putting things off and blowing off our appointments. And that was not a good time for maybe a month or two or three.
So
But
Jill, you're his therapist as well?
pretty
Like
much.
well, I have to, it's really interesting. Somebody, Michelle was in our clinic yesterday, and one of the we had like an amazing 4 or 5 plus clinic yesterday here in Virginia. And Dane had posted something. Oh, no, you had posted something, and one of the clinic participants said what I think a lot of people actually feel, which was I was really intimidated by Dane from his social media presence before I met him. And he turns
Mhm.
out he's a big teddy bear. And,
Yeah.
I think to Dan's credit, and we were kind of just talking this morning about like that challenge of like when you have a social media presence and then who you are and how people understand you. And I think to his great credit, like he said, we're really different. And like you said, so you're also his therapist, like, and he's mine. I think to what I think about in terms of our partnership process is that we have both become excellent managers of the other's idiosyncrasies. So like he
Mhm.
has like A plus Jill Martin management skills, and like I have A plus Dayne Gingrich management skills, and we've kind of figured out how to work with one another's differences. And that's just
Mhm.
been like a process. And I give him huge credit for being like open and willing to, we've each kind of had to meet in the middle on a couple things.
Right. And so your spouses call each other when they need help with you, like,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to deal with Jill? How am I supposed to deal with Dayne?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I mean, my spouse should send him like, birthday and Christmas presents,
Yeah.
and his spouse should send me presents as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
All right. So to kick things off, as you mentioned, Jill, I attended your pickleball mindset clinic yesterday at Lifetime and absolutely loved it. And I'm sure that you both want to take a moment to tell our listeners how amazing and talented I was. So I'm going to give you the floor here so you can take your time. And no.
I mean, what I would say is like, don't give this girlfriend a high forehand. You have an incredible amount of power. Like it's really funny when you see people online and then meet them in person. Like Michele is like obviously like super strong, but a smaller frame, and then you're like you're really really powerful player. Awesome. But
Well,
I will
I
say,
wasn't really fishing for a compliment, but I will take that and accept it. Thank you
oh
very
well,
much.
I don't care if you were, because I do have one more thing to say, which is
Okay.
that
Oh,
one of my
you just got the Jill bossy boss thing, right? You
Yes.
just
Okay. I'm listening.
I love, like, I feel like my superpower is kind of watching people on the court and seeing a bunch of different things about them. And you are such a natural like supporter of your partners. You're super positive and even on the court, and it's really impressive. You're even both when your partners become uneven, and or if you have a little dips in your performance, to the extent that you're struggling with that, it is not evident. You have like a really incredible calm positive presence on the court.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I try. I really do try because, I feel like sometimes I wonder, and this is a question that I was going to say for later, but maybe we'll segue into it right now, is that I sometimes feel like I'm always seeing myself as a supporting role out there, and which isn't always great because sometimes I need to be the bigger presence and I'm not used to doing that. So, do you have advice for people who,
Mhm.
from myself, where I tend to just I will change my game to my partner instead of sometimes sticking with what I'm strong at.
right. I think both are really important. I think what you just said is probably maybe even most important, that you recognize that you do that. I think if you don't recognize that you're kind of fluctuating between or staying more of the supporter when you need to be something bigger, I think recognizing that you do that
Mhm.
is the way you improve that, right? Because I think
Mhm.
in real time, so on the interview here on on your podcast, if you can articulate that the way you did, then the challenge is, can you in real time regulate and feel when you've fallen into that role, when you need to be in a different role? I think the change
Right.
will happen once you recognize, nope, it's time. I'm not the supporter this time. It's time for me to step up. And once you recognize that, there's no way you can't. I think like if you and I were sitting down on a one-on-one, I would like break it down into a little bit more detail. Like, are you realizing, and when you do realize it, what's your response? Are you afraid
Mhm.
to do that? Do you then we would kind of build up a process for you. But I think for you,
Mhm.
just in the short time, recognizing when you go there and just
Mhm.
making an intentional decision to attempt a change, right?
Right.
And it doesn't mean you'll always get there, but if you recognize it, you're sure as heck more likely to be there more often.
Yeah, and you guys did that really well yesterday, teaching us how to look at the other side and find their patterns, but it also kind of goes back to yourself, like finding what my pattern is and recognizing what's something that I need to change and work on. And
Right.
so, and
Just
we'll
real
again, we'll
quick,
sorry, go ahead.
Michelle,
Sure.
I'm sorry, just real quick, because I this is really interesting, because I'm a lot like you in that way.
Mhm.
Like I tend to be the player that supports the other player, or like comes to the way that they play. And there's a
Mhm.
few things. I watch a lot of pickleball, like amateur and senior pro, and watching NPL, for example, last season.
Mhm.
And I do think that there are disadvantages to your and I's inclination, but I think that there are also huge advantages. And what I've seen, particularly at the higher levels, is that at the higher levels, like for NPL, for example, I think a lot of the players, wherever they're from, they are the best player in their town. So
Mhm.
everybody's used to being the alpha, and everybody's used to being kind of the star of the show. And then they come together, and neither partner bends, so neither partner adjusts, and then it becomes like two like repelling magnets. And it's interesting. So
Yeah.
when nobody's able to be that role, that's a big problem in pickleball on a small court. So I think that I while there are times, because I have been in partnerships where I need to either be the bigger player, or I need to kind of take over the court, or I need to set the energy, that's hard for me. But
Mhm.
I also think like one of the things that Dayne has like helped me with a lot is not trying to change my DNA as a player. And I think that that's one of my strengths, actually. And to the extent
Yeah.
that I try to change that, and nobody's paying me to play pickleball, like, thank God, and like, I'm never, and that is
No
not
pressure.
my, yeah, like, it's not my intention. It's not my goal. Like, that, those aren't things that I personally aspire to. So that means I get to choose my partnerships. And I would prefer, because I do think that's a strength of mine, I would prefer to choose partnerships where I get to lean into my strength rather than try to change who I am as a player.
Right. To be okay being the Colin Johns and not the Ben Johns.
Yeah, yeah. But being able to bounce into different roles when you need to. And I think
Right.
and I've written about this too. Like I mean, Ben is still the best player in the world, and it's actually not as close as many actually think. He's better by so much more than most people understand. But I
Yeah.
think it actually would benefit Ben to play the right sometimes too when they're losing, or those big left side players. This whole I'm going to stay on the left no matter what the score is, I think is kind of crazy just on a strategic. And it's the only sport where no one makes an adjustment regardless of score, just
It is
specifically with the
so
men.
funny you say that. So we're getting all out of order here, which I just love because it means that things are flowing. But I asked the girls from yesterday, they were the ones who did the clinic with us. They're all good friends of mine. And so I asked them some questions, or asked them, what would you want me to ask you guys? And that was, one of the questions is that what do you do with a left side player who, even during a rec game, doesn't want to unstack and
Right.
practice that other role, and I mean, I think you just don't play with them, but
Yes.
or,
I mean,
but
that's your answer.
there are a lot of, to your point,
Yeah.
there are a lot of lefties. They're
That's your
not,
answer, right? And
yeah.
I think if in the heat of the moment they're just unwilling to change in the tournament, like there's nothing you can do because you just
Hmm.
have to allow them to be comfortable. But I think I think on the lefty scene, and I played with a lot of lefties, and they've all been amazing. Like I had, Altoff, Scott Crandall, they're Altoff I played for a couple years. He's one of my freaking favorite partners. He's incredible. He's a lefty, really good lefty, plays the right side.
Hmm.
And like if I were sitting him with him right now, I would love to have a talk like maybe, when we're in trouble, maybe you play the left once in a while. Like, and I don't think the lefties need to play the left and we play straight up, but I think there's a huge opportunity for many players out there, big left side alpha guys and in mixed too,
Mhm.
to
Yes.
have and I've done this with played with Jen Dawson, my favorite partner of all time. I've publicly said it many times, like we'll play her on the left the whole match if that's what she feels will benefit her, to give her the biggest advantage. And I just wish more players would do that, not and just shelf their ego, like just adjust. Like if it's
Yeah.
not work, I just can't, I just don't, I just doesn't ring with me. If this isn't working, why would you
Right. Yeah.
stay with it? If it is working, stay with it. Like just stay there,
Right.
right? But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it's kind of nutty.
Um, Yes. Well, this is great. So, moving on just a little bit, just to give you guys a heads up, and I don't know how much you've watched my podcast in the past. We're going to go ahead and say that you guys are, you know, avid followers of
It's
Mom
all
Your
we do, really,
Bears.
Michele. Yes.
But we are not typical, right? Not the typical pickleball podcast. So I'm going to throw out some questions for you guys so we can kind of get to know you guys a little bit better.
Good. Start with
Um,
her.
I'm going to start with both. Well, this is going to be for you about her. How about that?
Okay.
All right. And then we're going to call this game, Do You Even Know Me, Bro?
Oh
All right.
man,
So
I'm in
here we
trouble.
go. We're going to see how well Dayne knows Jill. All right. Where was Jill born?
Jersey.
Wrong.
No,
Oh,
Hong
no.
Kong. Where were you born?
North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Okay, we've got.
But from 3 on, I was in New Jersey.
See, so 3
Okay,
on
all right. You're
matters.
partially right.
She's
Partially right.
74. She's 74 now, so 71 years worth.
Okay, what's Jill's go-to coffee or tea order?
Oh, that's simple since we get one at almost every meeting. An oat latte, sometimes with sugar-free vanilla, most times without. And is a matcha like a tea? Yeah, and then the
Good
white
job.
matcha. Yeah, let's go.
All right, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's a good poll. All right, what's one song Jill secretly loves but would never admit it?
Wow.
That's a toughie. I don't know.
That's a really tough one.
That's a tough one. I'm so bad with I love music and I'm so bad with it. You Can't Touch This, MC Hammer. It's kind of a little swag. Yeah.
I listen every
I'm
night
too
as I go to
sexy
sleep,
for my
actually. Yes.
What is it?
What
Do
is
you
it,
have one?
Jill?
Okay, so this is the funny thing, and the reason maybe this is our one similarity. I love music. I don't know the names of any songs nor who sings them. And so he
Me
couldn't
too.
know because I don't know.
Yes, that's funny. That's me too. My husband knows every song. He could tell you the drummer for every band out there. Me,
Crazy.
I don't even.
I could
clueless.
sing with all of them, but if
Yeah.
you ask me the title, I'm dead.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, what's Jill's most used emoji?
Oh, the middle finger. No, she'll do that quite a bit. By far, just the laughing, crying one. The laughing.
Yeah, the
one,
laughing, crying one.
For
Okay.
sure.
All right. What?
I'm nervous right now. This is why I don't know why.
I know,
I'm
right?
nervous.
We try to make our guests sweat a
Can I
little
call
bit.
a timeout? I have 60 seconds.
You can phone a friend. How about that? You can call her husband if
Yeah.
you don't know the answer. If Jill could teleport anywhere right now, where would she go?
Oh, wow.
That's a good one.
Where would she go? Gosh, I'm trying to get. I feel like on a pod, you can't take 30 seconds at.
I can just edit out any long breaks.
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yep. Or I can put crickets, like the sounds of crickets. Yeah.
Now you have to teleport. She would go to she would go to her bed to take a nap actually because she's exhausted right now.
Where would you
Yes.
go?
Make me look
Yes,
good.
Dayne.
Thank you.
No.
Where would you teleport?
I think I would.
I almost said Fiji, but I don't think you're not the Fiji.
No, I think I would teleport to Thailand. I've never been there before.
Ooh.
There's no way in the hell I would have ever said
No.
Thailand, but I almost said Fiji. That was the first. And I'm like, nah, I don't think she's a sit.
Closer than her bed.
Yeah, that's but
Yeah.
you are exhausted. Like, stop.
I am exhausted. That's true.
But you would wake up for Thailand.
I would wake up for Thailand.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay. All right. Now you're done. You're off of that. Oh, we know. Actually, we've got one last one. Does Jill actually enjoy yoga, or is it just part of the brand?
No, she's full yoga. Like, she's actually insane. She's done it for years, taught it for years. She's a studier. This is the thing. Like, you want to know something? Ask Jill. See, we'll freaking research it for you. No, she's a full-fledged best yoga instructor I've ever talked with and seen and worked with. By far.
That is
It is
awesome.
not just part of her brand. It literally is who she is.
Although I will say, because actually I think that's a really good question. So I used to, when I was practicing law, I taught yoga kind of on the side to try to just resuscitate myself from being beat down by my profession. And I loved it. And then I actually don't teach a ton of yoga anymore because I've shifted a little bit more to strength training. And so I think it's a really fair question, but I still love yoga and I do teach from time to time, but I do more strength training now.
I just figured that was a softball one for Dayne. I didn't
Oh,
put
thank
that
you.
pretty quickly.
Thank you. Give me a
It's kind
softball.
of true. I mean, ironically, it's kind of true, and many people think that all I do is teach yoga, and now it's a little bit the opposite.
I think it's the pickleball yogi handle that throws people off. Yeah. All right. So, Jill, where was Dayne born?
Michigan.
Son of a bitch.
What's Dayne's favorite cheat meal or comfort food?
Oh, his favorite. Well, this is tricky because his comfort food is Chipotle, and because he's really funny. Like, this is actually one of the things that we had to adjust as humans who occasionally have meals together, is that he likes a lot of like consistency and predictability, and I like to try new things all of the time. And so to his
Mhm.
great credit, he lets me drag him to like weird places like
Right.
sometimes. But
Expanding your horizon.
I think comfort for him is predictability, but but he has a really really clean diet, so he doesn't like
Mhm.
cheat a ton.
No, but I have to piggyback because when we travel, other than the clinics, it's been to my tournaments, right? Because I bring her as the trainer, and she just like makes
Mhm.
sure, like, so my body, I need to know everything that I eat, my body's gonna like, and I know that A, it likes Chipotle, B, Chipotle is pretty darn clean compared to some of the stuff you can get when you're traveling. So
Yeah.
meh, that's why.
But if he were to
All
like
right.
do a giant cheat and like want to like not feel good afterwards, maybe it'd be pizza.
Okay. I mean, you're 2 for 2 here. I
Yeah,
just want to say.
yeah, well,
Uh,
the women always win. We already know this. This is fact.
yeah. I actually already sent her all the questions ahead of time.
You did. I know you did.
What instantly fires Dane up, good or bad?
Okay, good. What fires him up is any time that there's like an opportunity, or that he sees somebody like working to become better at whatever it is, whether it's like basket weaving or any time that somebody's trying to like optimize and better their performance, that gets him real. Oh, and coaching, like that's it, coaching. I guess if we were to say it negatively, he's like a coaching snob, or if we were going to say it positively, like he is so invested in the art of coaching and becoming the very 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 best coach. And so I would say that the thing that makes him most angry, maybe, well, that list is a little longer, Michele, but maybe would be really bad coaching. So coaching that comes from an either like way too much information, or from a negative perspective, like we have to
Yeah.
fix this about you, or these are the problems with your game. Bad coaching
Or
makes
ego-driven coaches.
yes, makes him bananas. In fact, I had a
Mm.
coaching experience once, and my I had told my friend, I had not told Dayne. So I took a lesson once right before I was like a 3-5 or something. Maybe that would have been generous. It was kind of the beginning of my pickleball career, and I had taken a private lesson from someone, and I had told this person that I had never ever played singles before. I didn't even know how it worked. And I had told the person I had to play singles. And so the instructor spent the lesson showing me how they could beat me in singles.
Ugh.
And
Oh, fun.
and I was very low level player, and so they're just lobbing me. I like had no
Aw.
idea what to do. They didn't really give me strategies, but they did show me that they could beat me in singles. And so that part of the lesson was successful. They proved that point. And so it was, I think, the day before the tournament, and I kind of wanted to
Oh,
withdraw from the tournament. And
yeah.
I ran into Dayne, and I wasn't going to tell him. I wasn't going to rat this other coach out. But my friend was like, "You're never going to believe what happened, Dayne." And Dayne was like, "I'm getting on my phone." Like, and I was like, "Don't put down your phone." So like
Yeah.
that will make him crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Would you agree with
she's
that?
not wrong. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things that fire me up. That is definitely one of them. I also like to be fired up on the court if someone talks trash. Like that is my favorite. Oh
Yeah.
my God. I won't
'Cause
start
then you
it.
can give it right back.
Yeah, I won't start it anymore, but if you start it, it's not going to stop. That fires me up as well. These are
Yeah.
too easy for Jill. Like you women,
I know she's
you
all right, let me
always
see if I
win.
can find okay, here's one that might be easy, but it's also entertaining for the rest of us. So
Okay.
what is his weirdest habit or ritual?
How much time do we have?
Oh my
I
goodness.
top one, top one.
Pickleball habits
Oh
and
my gosh,
rituals.
I wish this weren't a
So
podcast
OCD.
because I would act it out. So I call it
Oh,
I call it the chicken. So
oh my God.
when he's on, and we've discussed it because I also like to make fun of him in person about it. So when he's playing a tournament, um it started out for legitimate reasons apparently, so I'm going to try to defend him.
Apparently.
There would be like,
Apparently.
like something on the court, and like
Like a
obvious
leaf.
like a
A
leaf.
leaf or a
And
rock.
obviously, and I mean, our lives depend on this. We got to get that stuff off the court. And so he would like kick the thing off the court, but he does become kind of ritualistic about some things. And so then
Mhm.
like now it's like a thing that sometimes, but he's
Mhm.
like
Even on an
dying over
indoor
here.
court,
So
he's
sometimes in between points, he looks like a chicken, like, or a cat in a litter box. Like he starts like kicking his
got
feet
litter
both
box.
ways too. Like, and I'll be like out there kind of trying to see, like, is there anything out there? And I'm like, I don't think there's anything out there. But he's just making sure there's nothing out there. So he does this little like chicken cat dance out
You
there.
have to get
That
rid of the stuff on your feet. You
you
can't.
do.
God, it's really important. You might trip over the dust. You gotta get
Well, I
rid.
take my paddle and I use my paddle and fan things off all
Yes.
the time because I'm
Thank
like,
you.
oh, I see, same thing, a leaf, and I'm like trying to fan it with because I don't
Yes.
want to have to bend all the way down and pick up the leaf. So no,
Yes.
it
Yes.
is. So
I'm
you're not alone in that.
I am a giant.
Maybe
When I
not
was
as obsessive as you, but I do find myself wanting to clear off the,
Oh my gosh. If
pine
I
needle.
do something and win a couple points, I'm gonna do it the entire match. And it won't even have to be something I planned. If I started like I did something the other day in the tournament where we were playing up next to a tennis net and it was on my back, right? The tennis net, how it separates courts. And
Hmm.
there was actually a big old rock right next to it. And I lifted up the net and kicked the rock. And then we went like on a 2 or 3 point run. And so no matter if there was something there or not, I had to lift up the net and kick whatever was there every single point. Yep. Yep. And I don't
I'm gonna
care.
start paying attention to your matches and I'm gonna start watching and pointing them. That is so
You'll
funny.
see it.
All right. Well, let's do one more. Okay. What's one mindset quote Dayne loves so much that he probably has it embroidered on a throw pillow?
This is so easy. There are so
Um,
many, but this one should be easy.
yeah. So confidence is a decision, not a result.
And where do
I
we
like
actually
that
have
one.
that's actually embroidered on?
Oh yeah, we have a sweatshirt, and that's on the back of our sweatshirt. Yeah.
Okay. I think she wins this.
Yeah, she crushes it. And it's called a hoodie. It's not called a sweatshirt. It's a hoodie.
All right, we're gonna have a lightning round here.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh wait, Michele, I have to
Yeah.
warn you.
You guys have time.
People have attempted lightning rounds with us before.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
We
She's horrible. She doesn't understand she grew up in Jersey and doesn't understand what lightning means.
I'm
okay.
like
Well, this
both
is
a
gonna
slow
be
talker and talk too much, but I'm gonna really okay. I'm gonna focus. Here
it's
we go.
gonna be just more who is whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
Do we
Okay.
point at the same time or we just
There
ask
you go. Point. Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's do that. We'll do pointing.
Okay.
All right. Who takes long? Oh, we'll have to say it because we do have this on
Oh, audio.
Spotify too, and
Okay.
they won't be able to see you.
Okay.
All right. Who takes longer to warm up?
Jill.
Dayne. He knows. No, Dayne.
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 Dang. Okay. Who's more likely to get hangry?
Dayne.
Dayne.
Who texts more emojis?
Jill.
Dayne.
You liar.
Oh my gosh, for the first, okay, so this is why I'm bad at lightning, but there was a period where I had to really put a kibosh on what are they called? The
GIFs.
GIFs.
That's
He
not
would
an emoji.
only communicate in GIFs. I was like, stop it, use your words. No more videos, use your words. Okay.
So without him, it would have been a picture book. The book
Yes.
would be without you.
Yes.
All right. Who's more dramatic when losing?
Jill.
Oh, please.
Oh my
Oh,
God. You
please.
are such a liar. Breaking my paddles and smashing my water bottle doesn't count. Doesn't count. Wanting to never play again doesn't count. Not talking to anybody for 2 weeks after a loss doesn't count. It's you.
All right. Who would
Oh, wait,
survive?
Michele, I have
Oh,
to tell
good.
you this really fast,
Yes,
though. I
please.
will tell you, if you were to
Doesn't
ask
even
the
have to be fast.
question, one thing that really gets Jill mad, and
Oh, yeah.
he's going to kill me. Okay, so I was playing in a tournament and he was coaching me. It was like a golden ticket. My partner and I played against this team. They beat us. I think they ended up getting the golden ticket. And Dayne, he's like such a nice guy and really supportive of everyone. So I'm like really not happy by this loss. And we all come over afterward, and Dayne comes up. It was mixed. Dayne comes up to the other woman and was like, "You're just incredible. You just couldn't miss a ball." Blah blah, and like spends like 5 minutes blowing her up. And I was like, "You're dead to me." I was like, "You're dead to me. I'm tearing up our book." Like it made me like a crazy person.
See,
That would make me a crazy person too. I really would go a little insane on that.
she just wins. She just
I would be
admitted it.
dropping the F-bomb left and right on that one.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like,
asshole.
take her down to her bed, make her cry, Dayne. Don't blow her up.
Didn't you see all those mistakes she made?
Oh my gosh. I don't like
Point
you.
those out to her.
I don't like you two anymore, actually. You two together.
Okay, sorry, back to lightning. All right, we're ready.
Oh yeah, Lord, I like this lightning round though. All right, who would survive longer if banned from social media?
Jill.
Jill.
Yeah. Who talks most about mindset but forgets it when they're down 1-8?
Jill.
Who's the drama queen or king when there's a bad line call?
Dayne.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, Dayne. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, you did it.
Yes.
Good job, you guys.
Yes.
Well
good.
done. Well done.
Who wants to never coach a clinic with Jill again? Dayne.
Or Michele. All right. Okay. This is right. Nasty Nelsons, love it or leave it.
All right. Just in general, that's the question.
Yeah, first.
And for tournaments.
Well, we could do both. All right. What about in rec? Let's start
in rec against friends. Absolutely.
Yeah.
In rec against players I don't know, never. And in tournaments, absolutely never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. I don't think it's yeah.
Jill.
You've achieved the impossible, Michele. You have asked a question in which we 100%
agree.
All right. Yeah. I like that. All right. So speaking of Nasty Nelsons, name one pro player that you would like to Nasty Nelson during a tournament if you did that kind of thing.
Alshon, Hayden, and Jack Sock. Yeah.
So Jack Sock, do you know that he played a friend of mine, James Broker, in a real match, and it was televised, all that, and he tried to Nasty Nelson James, my friend's James Broker.
Really?
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's
it was after I think James had body bagged his partner like a couple points earlier. And so he tried, and thankfully he got out of the way, but we were like, oh man, we kind of wish he would have hit him. So that would have been a story we could tell forever.
I can't tell if Sock is joking when he does it, but he sometimes feels like he's not, like in a good way. I think it comes from tennis because we don't, bad etiquette in tennis. Yeah. So I think mostly he's joking around, but
yeah. Well, remind him that he went after a friend of mine during a match one time if he ever.
That's awesome. I'd love that.
All right, Jill, how about you?
So I'm not going to name anyone in particular. I'm going to choose a category of human, and it's any and all male senior pros who have treated their female senior pro partners like it's the 1950s. Mm-hmm. And the number of male senior pros who I've seen treat their female senior pro partners so egregiously that these very tough women like are in tears off the court. Like I would Nasty Nelson them every point that I could.
Wow.
I like that. Yeah. I'm right there with you.
That's a throwdown. So who can we talk about?
Yeah. You don't want to name names, huh? We're pretty good. Maybe it's Jordan. We're pretty good at like pulling information out of people that they had no idea that they're gonna. They spill their guts here.
I love that. So
maybe I'll have to get you on another question.
Does his first name start with?
Yeah. Give me the initials. DG.
Bills.
Okay. All right. And just so you know, whatever happens on this podcast stays on this podcast. So, feel free, which is why I cannot tell you that it was John Sperling that said he was going to Nasty Nelson you, Dayne.
Yes. Let's go. I love it. I think he's actually serious. It's really funny. Like, I love it.
It was funny.
John's hilarious.
He is hilarious. I love him. He's great.
And now I'm going to have to get so I just changed my answer to the tournament thing. Yeah. Next tournament John and I play against, he's going to get Nelson for sure.
Okay. I want to be watching that one.
And then we're going to laugh. And then I'm going to remind him of this podcast. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. You can blame me.
Yeah.
All right. And then the last question before we get serious. What pro player would you choose to fight alongside you during a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, wow. That's really good. Either Rafa Hewitt, he's a bit of a psycho in a good way. Like he's kind of an animal. Like
Yeah.
He has a trigger, like, you get him upset. Who else is a little nutty? I think Anna Lee would kinda be a badass, if I'm being honest, or
Mhm.
Anna Bright would kinda be a badass.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Rafa,
Those are good picks.
there's a couple brutes on the guy, but Rafa's nutty in a good way, for sure.
Mm,
That's good. Those are good.
I think if I were to choose a woman, yeah, well, either Sherry Corder or Anna Lee, because I
Mhm.
don't think that anything scares either of them. And then if it were a man, I would choose Brandon Lane because he's just like so nice and protective of his partners.
Mm, it's
Aw,
good,
like that. That's good.
good.
Good, 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 good. All right. Okay, so moving on. We'll start with the book and then we'll get into the clinics as well. But what inspired you both to collaborate on this book? And was there a specific moment that kind of sparked the idea? Or was it just that text message that Jill sent you? And
Well, I think the mindset piece for pickleball specifically just hasn't been tapped into, or in my opinion, um, hasn't been tapped into correctly.
Mhm.
And it's just always been, I've been doing it for such a long time, and I think pickleball, when we all came into it, everybody was focusing on mechanics and technique, and da da da. No one was really talking about the mental game, nor did I think many people kind of understood how to approach it actually. So
Right.
um, I was again trying to write a book on it for a long time with different types of subjects, and I just think with
With all Jeffs.
yes, it's all just there's just not going to be a single word. It's just going to deal with it. Yeah, 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 exactly. And there are going to be screenshots of the gifs too, because you couldn't open a book and see a live gif.
I
So
thought you were gonna just like coloring books, just like dry on there.
exactly. So, I mean, so when she and I were talking about her specific issues, and it kind of just organically just happened to where the format just opened itself up. I just thought, oh my gosh. I had done a podcast a long time ago with a buddy, and it surprisingly went absolutely crazy. Millions of listens and views on this podcast. And all it was our very first segment was he was telling his kind of horror story about how he was broke and all of the how he fell to the bottom and kind of lifted himself back up, and I was telling him about some of my darkest stories and on my at the time on my way to trying to come back up, and we were just it was terrible audio, and we were literally it was such a bad production, but it got like 500,000 views in the first episode,
Jeez.
and we quickly realized like, oh my gosh, like people are
Mm,
sitting home alone going through their struggles and thinking nobody else is going through those struggles. And so we formatted the entire podcast around bringing on successful people, entrepreneurs, athletes, whatever, and but not allowing them to talk about their success. You couldn't come
mm,
on if you weren't going to talk about and focus the entire thing on the struggles you went through.
failure.
And that format was incredible. So segueing that into the book, when Jill was talking about what she was going through, and like this is the book. Like my
Yeah.
concepts are not the book. My concepts will lay a foundation, but I think it's going to blow up. I just knew it was going to be a hit if she kept her part in, because I knew that she was speaking to you. She was
Yeah.
speaking to you. She was speaking to the entire clinic that the clinics that we do, right? Everybody is going through all of the stuff that she's going through. And so
Right.
she was like, nope, I'm taking my part out. Nobody's going to want to hear a single thing. Why would they want to listen to my, and I'm like, because you are them.
Yeah.
They're not going through what I'm going through. Like it's a different kind of lifestyle, right? Where you are 99% of the pickleball population. So that's kind of how it went. And I had to like beg her to keep her part in.
I actually skip over Dane's part and
You
just go to
should.
yours,
You
so by the
should.
way.
You should. You're not the first person to tell me that. And I don't care.
You still bought the book. All right. So, what are you hoping that people take away, whether they're casual players or competitive players?
Well, I think one of the things I've thought about a lot is maybe based on the feedback that we've gotten, is that I, I kind of hope that I think that struggling with mindset, I hope that the book kind of gives people some tools, but also normalizes the experience of struggling with it. Because I think there's something tricky about when you're like middle age, you're like a 3-5, you're struggling with mindset on this thing, it's recreation. You're like, how is this possible? I'm not curing cancer. I've dealt with way harder things in my life. This is absurd that this is getting under my skin, that this is bothering me, but it is so normal. And allowing yourself to treat that as something that you want to get better at, and that what you're experiencing is just often what everybody else is experiencing with on the court, and then using that as an opportunity to work on the things that hold you up, because typically, like, a lot of our patterns on the court, they're really reflective of what our patterns are off the court. And you can see that when we do clinics. I can see it all the time. People are highly consistent and predictable, and so the issues that they're experiencing with what's happening between their ears on the court, it's probably playing out in their own life. And pickleball is this incredibly great, relatively safe container to practice challenging patterns that don't serve you, and
Mhm.
it because it's a lot harder. It's really, really, really hard to change those hardwired habits that we've had, especially the older we get, the harder it is to start to change. But this pickleball offers like this incredible opportunity, because you're making tons of mistakes, you're playing with lots of different people, you're playing with your frenemies, with your enemies, you're playing with partners you like, don't like. It's challenging all of these things that we experience every single day, but in the bigger stakes moments in your career, in your family, it's so hard to shift out of doing things the exact same way we've always done them, whether they're working for us or not.
I find that, and one thing I've thought about it, because, I feel like the biggest thing I need to work on is between my ears, is that a lot of us, especially look at the group that we had yesterday, a majority of us played D1, were D1 athletes,
Mhm.
right? And we were the best at what we did, and even I played volleyball for another 25 years after that until I got injured. And I was one of the top players around here. And then you switch sports and you're not that anymore. And you realize, oh my gosh, there's people that are, you know, much better than me. And I had to get used to not being the best at a
Mhm.
sport, or at least the top tier player. And so I think for me, that's kind of shook my confidence a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just like I expected it to come easier, especially when you first start and you're out there and you're like, oh my God, this game, I'm going to be pro. And I get a lot of, because I
Yeah.
teach, and I've had so many people come to me like, yes, I started playing, I love it. And I want to be pro, in 2 years. And I'm like, don't we all, right? I
Yeah.
wanted to be pro in 2 years too. And look at me now, I'm teaching you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
No,
I
so
think
I
that,
think that that's,
sorry,
I don't know if
Michelle.
that's part of it.
I think that, and it's interesting because for me, like, that resonates with me, but from a different, like, one of the things that has been most humbling for me about pickleball is that I was never best at like any sport that I did, but anything, like, I'm a grinder, and anything that I've
Mhm.
decided to throw my full weight behind, I'm able to use I've been able to use that, like, kind of the way I do things, which is like just working harder than anybody else, doing more. And I've been able to use that to propel myself up to the top, even if I don't have the most skill. I always felt that way in school. I wasn't the smartest person, but I could outwork anybody, and
Mhm.
I could get myself there. In pickleball, I have not had that experience. And in fact, it's the opposite. And I feel like this is one of the areas for me, like in life, that I really needed to work on, is that sometimes the tighter that we clench our fist, the more things fall through our fingers. And it's like opening
Mhm.
our hands rather than holding on. And so for
Mhm.
me, it's super hard. And it's funny, I meet a lot of attorneys who play pickleball, and I don't know whether it's the chicken or the egg, but I see in them what I see in me, is that they want to grind. They just want to work harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
And they have a problem. They're just going to crush it, or like kill it, kill it, kill it. And they
Yeah.
can't see that the goalpost is moving farther and farther and farther and farther away. And so learning that, finding ease along with grind, is super hard. So it has been super humbling for me
Okay,
to
please, because that is me to a T. I figure like I'm just not working hard enough. That's why I'm not reaching that next level or whatever. So what do you do? What
help,
should we be
Dane,
doing instead?
help. I mean,
Yeah.
we work on this together a lot, a lot.
So I think what we do that relates, will resonate with you too. And I think it's everybody. I think it's pros too, but maybe a little different in that category. All the amateurs. I think it's the comparison game. I think we have to back
Mm.
off of the comparison game.
Oh, that's hard.
Oh, it is hard. And what are we comparing? We're not comparing our We're not comparing our third drops to their third drops or our third drives
True.
to theirs. We're not comparing hand speed. Once in a while, we'll do that, but we're comparing wins and losses.
Duper scores.
We're comparing ratings, right? That's all we're
Right.
comparing. We're not comparing the ability to solve a puzzle better than them. Like
Mm.
that's the answer. The answer isn't how I can, because the pickleball, she'll come off of a loss sometimes and be so upset at herself. And did you play singles? Oh, you play doubles. Oh, so if you say you play doubles, there's so many dynamics in place that are all out of your control, not just your partner, not just your opponents. We have a freaking kitchen line that doesn't allow certain things to happen. It allows him to get isolated or you get isolated like there's so many things out of your control in doubles. So to compare, like, I can't believe I lost to her. Oh, you guys played singles against each other. No, no, no. I'm so much better than her. So I think the comparison as far as wins and losses, the answer is
Yeah.
deleting them from your expectation diagram, so to speak, but making it, I'm going to be like what she's really helped me with because she's been working on is I'm going to show up for my partner now. That is my
Yeah.
number one priority. It's 100% in my control. I'm going to be the best partner I've ever been, ever today. And
Yeah.
then go from there. Or I'm going to be the mentally toughest. When I work with pickleball, all athletes really, and we set goals before matches, we never set win-loss goals. We definitely don't ever set scoring goals. We set, I'm going to be the mentally toughest player on this court because that is in my control. It doesn't mean I'm going to win. In pickleball, I'm playing doubles. Like I have a partner that affects that. I have two players on the other side that affect that. Like I could be I believe I'm one of the mentally toughest players in all of pickleball, but I would never beat Ben and Gabe ever, no matter almost whoever my partner was, right? Because they're also pretty mentally tough, but they're just younger and way better, right? So,
Uh,
but I can control my mental toughness. You may
yeah.
lose, but I'm never going to break. So I think if you switch your mentality from comparing to the wins and losses, and I've been at every time you say I'm the best at the sport, all that means is I have more wins than you, right? Versus I'm mentally tougher than you. I can figure
Mm.
out a puzzle quicker than you. And if I can get a partner to do that with me, then our wins and losses, we will raise the percentage that we can get that W.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And you're following up on what some of the things we talked about in the clinic yesterday, which I love. Sorry, Jill, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say I think the other thing that has helped me, he's gonna laugh because okay, well, first of all, everything that I talk about in the clinic, in the book, anything, I always want to be super, super clear. I am fully in process. This is nothing that we talk about is yes, and this is what I do 100% of the time, and that I have mastered and I'm really good at. I talk from a place of these are the things that I'm still struggling with, and these are the things that I'm trying to work on with them. And for
Hmm.
me, so he's going to laugh when I say that this has helped me because I'm not always great about doing this. I think a lot of us who have that disposition of I just need to work harder, I just need to train harder, we really 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 overtrain.
Ha!
And
Oh, sorry.
we think like I just need to drill more, I need to get on the court more, I need to be
All
on the
right.
court more. And I think setting aside any physical limitations like that our bodies need to recover, all of those things, I actually don't even think that's the biggest problem. I think that our minds need to recover and that most of us spend way, including me, way too much time on the court. And we often tend to, because we have lives, we have jobs and kids, and so then all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's like that time that we're not spending doing the things we have to do becomes all about pickleball, and I just think it's a big mistake. I think like
Hmm.
adding some diversity into your life in terms of activities, it allows for that like integration period, because most of us we're working so hard that there's no period to integrate, and we're doing it for way too many hours without a break. So I have personally found, and then it's very strange, I don't know if it's like this in other sports, I don't have enough experience, but what I've seen with pickleball players is almost the sense of it's like a keeping up with the Joneses almost as well. If I take time off, everybody's out there getting better, or I'm
Yeah.
missing games, or I'm missing opportunities. Everybody's out there doing while I'm not. And like people seem to, there's like this kind of arms race in terms of how much
Yeah.
you're on the court and how much you're preparing. And I actually think that the people who are able to carve out space and have confidence that I'm not losing anything taking a couple days off or taking a week off or doing whatever you do. There's almost everybody I've talked to, they go on vacation, then they come back and they're better. You know, they're
Yeah.
better. And there's a
I have
reason for
found
that.
that. which is crazy, which is just seems counterintuitive,
Yeah.
right? You take a couple days off, you're going to get worse. Oh no, I haven't played in, well, I don't think I've gone a week without playing since I started the sport, except for I have MS. And so when I have my infusions, then I do have to take some time off. But other than that, and then when I do take a couple days, I come back to your point. I'm like, wait, I actually am playing better now than I was
Yeah.
5 days ago.
You need that. You need that place. I didn't play a match. So after November Nationals last year, I was fried. My brain was fried. My body, I had injuries. No one, I really didn't talk about a whole lot. Where I was barely able to walk the whole season last
Mm,
year. And I just, so after Nationals in November, I decided I was definitely going to take a break through January. Created a 2025 schedule, got my partners ready. And so I wasn't going to play. I wasn't going to play for an entire month. Come January, I'm like, I'm canceling my entire year. I'm done. Like I may retire actually, but I'm definitely not playing a single tournament this year for multiple reasons.
which year was this?
Now this year,
Now.
this
Okay.
year. So last year after Nationals,
Gotcha.
I was fried and I was
Okay.
injured. And then
Yeah.
I created the schedule for this year. And in January, I had to make the texts and calls to tell my partners, I so sorry, but I'm going to take the whole year off. And so I didn't hit a single competitive ball from November to January, February, March, April. 4 months, I didn't hit a single competitive ball. I taught, but
Wow.
that's not competitive,
Right.
right?
It's not the
And
same.
then I saw that Newport was coming, which is like an hour and a half from my house. And I was
Mhm.
kind of like, I love that facility. Let me go
Mhm.
ask my partner. And of course, they were like, no, sorry, we got new partners. So
Yeah.
I went out and found two brand new partners I had never played with. And I'm telling you, I waited. So the tournament was just last month. So I trained for like a month and a half pretty hard. And I had never played better in my life. My head
Wow.
was clear. My body, we had been training super hard. And so there was this like place that the time, if I would have kept playing, there's no chance I would have played as well. I would have probably played worse. And I think to
Yeah.
her point, we think we need to keep playing, keep playing, keep playing, keep playing. But so can you imagine studying for a test at like you need that rest period to allow the information to integrate and to like what you're going to experience now after this clinic, right? We fire hosed you with all that information. If you were to go play, well, you're going to play today probably. I mean, like, I don't
I
like
am playing at 3 o'clock.
exactly. It,
Best of luck to you, Michelle.
good
Where's
luck.
I'm going to
Michelle down?
practice. I'm going to practice everything we worked on yesterday,
Good.
today at 3.
So it's going to take a while for that to kind
Yeah.
of
That's it.
like to
Yeah.
sink in. Like it's there, but after, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a couple months, all of a sudden you're going to start this percolation process. You're like, oh my gosh, there it is. Or, oh, that's the thing
Yeah.
we were talking about. So I just think overtraining is definitely for me more mental. I mean, it can be physical, but definitely that mental break we all
Yeah.
have to take.
Well, no, just the last thing I want to say about this is so watching him play last season and coming back, the other biggest difference is that by the end of last year, he looked patently miserable when he was playing. And
Yeah.
when, like,
Wondering about the joy.
the joy was gone. It was
Yeah.
gone. In addition to letting his injuries heal and get stronger in other ways, the biggest relief actually being I was at his match in Newport was just watching. I was like, oh my God, well, there he is again. There he is. He's come back and he just looked happy. I
Yeah.
mean, his version of looking happy when he's playing competitive, you have to know him well enough to be able to discern through because he has kind of, but his joy was back, his light was back. And I think what I notice, I hear this all the time across the country. Another thing that's totally normal is I hear, especially 4, 5 plus, I'll hear them. There'll be a game next to them that's like a 3, 5 game, and the 3, 5 people they're laughing, they're clearly having fun. And the number of times I've heard one person say to another in the 4, 5 plus group, "Oh my gosh, do you remember when we used to laugh when we played?"
Yeah.
Like, and there becomes this chasing. There becomes this huge chasing that rather than loving the chase, that
Yeah.
I just and we see it in our clinics. We had talked about it a little bit. Sometimes in our 4 or 5 plus clinics, people look like they're coming to learn like how to dig themselves out of a mine in case there's a collapse. There's this seriousness and there's this like tightness and something happens at the higher levels where the thing that brought them to the court, which was that they loved it and they wanted to come back, that somehow and I've experienced this. I almost had to stop playing. I stopped having fun. I stopped playing rec altogether for a while and just drilled because that's a really happy place for me to drill.
Mhm.
But I think that some people get to a certain level and then their progress slows down because they really start to lose the thing that brought them there in the first place. And it becomes too much about chasing some sort of external goal.
Right. You don't want to be left behind, I think,
Mhm.
because everyone, I have a big group of us that we all started together. And there's been people who kind of dropped off along the way because their level didn't progress at the same time. And you just never want to be that person. So
Right.
you just, oh God, I gotta work harder than this person. It could be close friends, but at the same time, you don't want them to progress without you. And so there's all that pressure to your point. Yeah.
At the expense of the joy, the reason
Yeah.
why you
At the
played.
expense
It's
of
kind of
joy.
nuts, right? It's kind
Yeah.
of nut. It's just like anything we talk about in business. I just want to make all this money so that I can be
Yeah.
happy. You know how many
Never enough.
multimillionaires are just depressed as all? I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Miserable.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think what you were talking about, Dane, about being in pain. So when you have that, it's hard to have joy when you're suffering physically.
Yep.
And I've put myself in that position time and time again where, again, I don't want to stop and feel like my body is betraying me. So I'm just mad at my body anyway. So I'm just going to like, screw you. I'm going to go out there anyway. And,
Right.
and just not listening to your body. And then how can you have fun at that point?
No,
It's,
and it
yeah,
becomes brutal. Then you bring it home. Then you're a big grouch, and then
yeah,
train like yeah, it just
yeah,
never
yeah.
ends.
It's
Shut
never
it
good.
down. The game is going to be there. It will be there.
Yes.
Yes.
Be there. It will be there.
Yeah.
You're right. All right, guys. I know that was a lot of information, but I could not stop talking. I loved hanging out with Dayne Gingrich and Jill Martin, and they provided so much information about mindset, which is something that I know I really need help with. But guess what? There's more to come. This was just part one. Part two will be dropping next week, and I hope you guys will tune in. So be sure to subscribe. That's that button down there. Just push it. Please push it. Help us out. Give us a little love. You can even give us a thumbs up and share this episode with your partners, your teammates, and your friends, because let's be truly honest, we all struggle between the ears. Not just me. At least I hope it's not. Most importantly, don't miss out on their book, Pickleball Mindset. It's a must read for anyone looking to level up their game from the inside out. I'm Michele Spar with Mom, You're Embarrassing Me. Thanks again for tuning in. We appreciate you. Hope to see you soon. Peace.